is Sonia, and I would like to say hello to all of you. If it's the first time you're seeing me, I'm a psychic medium, a tarot card reader, and I'm also a clinical psychologist. On this channel, I'm going to talk more about the so-called esoteric themes, but that does not mean that I can't get into some psychology as well. For instance, if you want to know more about depression, panic attacks, that sort of situation, I can also talk about that. But today I'm going to do the second part of the twin flame video. So last week in my video, I talked about how can you recognize that that person is your twin flame. On this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 phases through which all twin flames go through. And so to start, we have phase number 1. And phase number 1 happens before the twin flames meet each other. I talked about this on the last video, but I didn't really go in depth. And so today I'm going to explain a little better. So phase 1, which is before twin flames meet, starts around 1-2 years before the twin flames actually see each other for the first time. And that's a period in which there's like a preparation, energetically a preparation for you to meet. So that means that there's a high probability that all of a sudden you're going to be interested in a new hobby, or you're going to be interested in a new theme that you never thought before, or you're going to start enjoying some kind of music or movies that usually were not the kind of music or movies that you would be interested in. And when you actually meet the twin flame, you're going to realize that the new interests that you have, the new hobbies that you got, are exactly the same as the hobbies that your twin flame has. And this is going to happen to your twin flame as well. So your twin flame is also going to all of a sudden enjoy a hobby that you like, or have this special interest that belongs to you and it didn't belong to them. So this goes both ways. It doesn't happen just to one person. It happens to the two of you. Another thing that can happen before you meet is dreaming about your twin flame. Now, dreaming about your twin flame does not mean that you have to dream about them physically and actually see them. Does that happen? Yes. Some people can actually dream about the twin flame and see the face, the body, see the actual person, sometimes 1 or 2 years before you actually see each other for the first time. But in other cases, you're not going to dream about the face of the person. You're going to dream about a special person. You're going to dream about someone who's going to make you feel a certain way, like you know it's the right person for you, but you can't really see the face. You just know that you're dreaming about someone that you're meant to be with. And so it's going to be a very profound feeling, a very profound dream. You can also have dreams with, and this is kind of interesting, you can have dreams that have to do with the hobbies that belong to your twin flame, or interests that belong to your twin flame. So all of a sudden, if you start dreaming with things that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, it's because they don't belong to you, they belong to your twin flame. So it's very interesting, because even before you meet, you already have this connection, and you already have this special link in which the two of you can start to dream with each other, or start dreaming about things that are important to both of you. Something very important is that twin flames go through challenges in life. And what I mean with challenges is that usually either they had really strict parents, or they come from a broken home. If they don't have strict parents or come from a broken home, they could have been bullied at school. They could have been in a family that was very poor, and they would have problems because there wasn't enough money for food, or there wasn't enough money for them to be able to study the way they want. It's not uncommon to see twin flames have depressions, or have problems with alcohol or drug use. That can also happen. And that happens, why? It happens because twin flames go through a lot of challenges. And usually one of the twin flames is stronger than the other. And what I mean by this is the life story is going to be pretty similar. But if you have one twin flame that wasn't able to cope and ended up using drugs to get away from their reality, the other twin flame was probably very close to using drugs, or maybe even thought about it, or maybe kind of tried it once but didn't go there, because it's different. It's like one part is stronger than the other, and the strong part is supposed to pull the other one up. So usually they go through a lot of challenges in life. Childhood is not going to be easy. Being a teenager is not going to be easy. And then you have the ones that can't cope and end up following a really bad road. Also, and I mentioned this on the other video, there's going to be an age difference between the two of you. The minimum age difference that personally I've seen so far is around 6 years, but usually it's over 10 years of age difference. And you have to be prepared for that difference. We don't know why that happens, but that usually is the norm. I'm not saying that it's completely impossible for someone to be your twin flame just because that person is 2 years older or 2 years younger than you. It's not impossible. It's just not common. It's just not what we're expecting. But pretty much phase number 1, which is before we meet our twin flame, is a phase in which we are going to start missing someone that we never met. We're going to start missing the love of someone that we haven't seen yet. And you're going to start longing for that person and wanting to meet that person before you ever met. So that's pretty much phase number 1. Phase number 2 is when you finally meet each other, and you meet each other face to face. That's when phase number 2 starts. And phase number 2 is going to be very interesting because the way you are going to meet is going to be very particular. It's not going to be like most people usually meet. And I don't mean that you can't meet the person online. You can meet the person online, but maybe it's going to be in something different online. For instance, imagine if you play World of Warcraft and you can actually meet the person inside the game and develop the friendship, and then the friendship develops into something more after that. So I'm not saying that you can't meet them online, but the way you meet each other is going to be very unique, and it's not going to be a common way to meet another person or to meet a future boyfriend or a future girlfriend. So it's going to be different. Another thing is, when you actually look at each other for the first time, you're not going to have the feeling that you're meeting someone new. You're going to have the feeling that you're seeing that person again. So it's like a reunion, like, where have you been all my life? Because I feel like I know you. And so that's the feeling that you're going to have. You're not going to be like meeting someone new. You're going to meet someone that is like, I haven't seen you in such a long time. And you're going to feel immediately a very strong connection between the two of you. And that connection is going to make you feel like you want to spend the rest of your life with that person, even though you just met. And when I say you just met, it can happen on the first day, or it can happen after a week or a month, but you're going to have that feeling of, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. That's what's right, is to be together. And you are going to spend hours and hours and hours talking to each other. You're going to spend hours just being together. And what's going to be wonderful about this is that you're going to enjoy each other's company without actually needing to have other things associated. What I mean by that is that it's not all going to be sexual. It's not all just going to be physical. It's going to be very mental and very emotional and also very spiritual. So instead of, for instance, just grabbing each other and kissing each other, you're going to enjoy talking to each other and getting to know each other, especially because you're going to find out that you have a lot of things in common. So that's when you find out that you have the same interests, that you pretty much have the same points of view over a couple of issues. And that's also when you're going to realize that the hardships that you went through are very similar to each other. Another very important thing is you're going to feel this deep love when you're in this phase, the phase that you meet. You're going to feel a deep, profound love for that person. And you are pretty much going to feel like this is the most unique connection you've ever had in your life. Also, very important is this is the phase when the spiritual gifts are going to be more open and you're going to start to develop them more. What I mean by this is, imagine you're actually a psychic medium. You're going to be even stronger as a psychic medium. Imagine that you're not a psychic medium, but maybe you can start having some psychic abilities. And so what this means is that spiritually, you are both going to start growing together. And that's something really beautiful, and it's one of the most important parts about twin flames, is how they're going to grow together spiritually. So if they're already psychic mediums, they're going to be stronger. If they're not psychic mediums already, they're going to start having some psychic abilities. So it's really interesting to see how joining two twin flames is going to make the whole spiritual life of both the twin flames stronger and more open, and you're going to learn new things about yourself and about others. And after this, we go to the third phase. So the third phase is when the twin flames really fall into this deep love. So you had the meeting phase, and now you're in a relationship. Now you're together. And so you're going to start realizing a lot of good things, but some of them maybe are not so good. You're going to realize that you work as a mirror to each other. So that means that every single good quality that you have within yourself, you're going to see reflected on the other flame, and vice versa. But also the negative qualities are going to be reflected on the other person. And usually we don't like to get the darkness out, so that's going to be more difficult to deal with. But on this phase, we are still in sort of a honeymoon phase. So this is the part in which twin flames fall in love in a more deep way. So what's going to happen is, not only are you going to feel a lot of love towards the twin flame, you're also going to start feeling more compassion towards the other people around you. So there's going to be changes. You're going to feel more love for other people as well. You're going to feel more compassionate. You're going to feel like you want to help people, like you want to do something good, something different to help other people. And your connection with your twin flame is going to become also very physical at this stage. And so you're going to have a huge sexual attraction towards each other, and the actual sex itself is going to be something wonderful. So you're going to feel like there's a huge connection. It's going to be not like the first time that you guys are having sex. It's going to feel like you've always had sex with each other. It's like a reunion again. It's like, oh my God, I'm with you again, even though you had never met each other. So you're going to go deeper into your feelings, into your love, into your compassion. You're also going to go deeper into the sexual part of the relationship, the physical part, the attraction in the relationship. And you're also in the middle of all of this going to develop even more your psychic or spiritual gifts. So the more in love the two of you are, the more connected the two of you are, the more you are going to develop psychic abilities, the more you're going to develop your spiritual and emotional side. And that is one of the most important parts of why twin flames come together. So the third part, the third phase is actually the phase in which your love deepens and your connection grows and gets deeper and deeper and deeper and very intense. And because it gets very intense, that leaves us at phase number 4. In phase number 4, it's like the relationship, instead of going up, it's going to start going a little bit downhill. So you're going to feel like a break in the relationship that you're not going to understand exactly why it's happening. But pretty much what happens is, because the connection is so deep, and because the emotions have always been rising with the love, the compassion, the sexual desire, the want to be with that person, wanting to help, everything that you're going to feel spiritually and emotionally, it's going to become very, very intense. And when that happens, you're going to have a tendency to pull away a little. Not to break up, that's not what's going to happen in this stage. You don't have to break up, but you have to take like a step back and actually look at each other and think, can I do this? Can I really be with this person with all this intensity, with all these feelings that I'm having inside? Maybe this is too much for me. So you're going to start questioning if you can actually handle all of those things, because not everyone can handle. Because don't forget, you guys are mirrors to each other. So you're going to start seeing a lot of negativity, a lot of darkness that you don't like, and you don't like it because it's your darkness as well, because you guys are mirrors. But usually we're not aware of our own darkness. Usually that's something that we keep deep inside, and we just learn to go through life with those emotions, bottled up. But in this situation, you can't, because your twin flame is going to make all of those negative emotions come up. So people are going to have this need to step away a little bit and try to understand if you can cope with the intensity, if you can cope with the darkness that's going to start coming up. So it's a phase that you leave the honeymoon phase. You're still in love with each other, but it's like you're almost a little scared of what you're feeling, and you're not so sure if you can actually be in a relationship with all this intensity and all these strong feelings towards the other person. So that leaves us at stage number 5. Stage number 5 doesn't need to happen to every single twin flame relationship. Phase number 5 is the separation. And the separation doesn't happen with all the couples, don't worry. So not all twin flames have to go through this. Some twin flames go from phase number 4 to phase number 6. They don't have to necessarily go through phase number 5. But phase number 5 is when one of you can't take it because the intensity is too strong, the darkness is too strong, the feelings that you tried to, bottle up inside of you for so many years, they're starting to come up and you're starting to feel them. And that's not a good feeling. It's not. I mean, do you really want to feel fear again? Do you really want to feel completely vulnerable? Do you really want to feel like someone can crush you? You don't want to feel that, because imagine if you had this really complicated childhood and you had these parents that would be abusive towards you. the emotions that you had as a child are going to come up again so that you can deal with them. Or if you were a teenager and you were bullied, you're going to start feeling the way you felt when you were bullied. That means that all of those negative emotions that you pretty much decided to just forget about, they're going to come back. They're going to come up again. And a lot of people can't deal with that. And so they need to do the separation because they're not prepared. They're not prepared spiritually. They're not prepared emotionally. And they can't handle the intensity of the relationship. And most of all, they can't handle the fact that the negative feelings are going to come up. But they are. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. So some twin flames go apart. Usually one twin flame leaves and the other twin flame doesn't want to end the relationship. But honestly, let them go. I know I've said this in the last video. Let them go. Show that you're there. Show that you're still in love with them. Show that if that person wants, you're there. You're there for them. You can be their friend if they don't want to be in a relationship. You're present, but don't chase the other twin flame. Give that person time, because if for that person everything went so intense and all of a sudden, they had those feelings coming back up and they couldn't deal with the negativity, they couldn't deal with the darkness that they were feeling, pushing them, going after them is not the best option. So let them be. That's the best thing you can do. And yes, I know it hurts, and it hurts so much. Trust me, it really does. But it's the best thing you can do. You let them go. You have to then give them time. Sometimes, they break up for a week, for a month, for a year, sometimes more than a year. But what's really important here is that the twin flame will come back eventually, because that's phase number 6. The twin flame will come back eventually because the love and the connection is so strong that even when they have to run because the darkness is too much and the intensity is too strong, they're still going to come back when they can finally deal with all of this, when they're willing to start working with you and to start working through those feelings and actually heal the feelings that they have inside of them. And so, as I said, we go into phase 6. And phase 6 is the reunion again, is when you go together again. Now, I said earlier that when you're in stage 4, you don't need to go necessarily through the separation of stage 5. You can go into the reunion. And you may be wondering, well, but if we didn't break up, why is it called a reunion as well? Because at stage 4, people are going to distance themselves. They're going to take like 2 steps back and look at the relationship and think, can I do this? Can I handle this? And if the answer is no, you have stage 5. If the answer is yes, then you're going to say, okay, I can deal with it. We can do this together. So you're going to come closer, and that's the reunion. So it works for anyone who comes from that little step back on phase 4 or the whole separation on phase 5. Now, when finally the 2 twin flames are back together again after all of this, and the separation can happen more than once because it's really not easy for some people. Some twin flames, they're together and then they separate and then they get back together and they separate and they get back together again until they're finally ready to do what? To actually heal, to get those negative feelings inside of you and heal them. Let the emotions come up again. Let yourself be vulnerable with that person. That person is literally half of you. That person knows you. That person has the same fears that you have, went through pretty much the same challenges that you went through. So that's the perfect person in the world for you to finally be vulnerable. And so you can get your pain out. You can get the darkness out. You can get those bad feelings that you have stored deep inside of you out, and you can start to heal, which means that psychologically and emotionally, the 2 of you have the power to help each other to actually heal from trauma and heal from really negative situations on both of your pasts. So that is really, really important. So pretty much phase 6 is about accepting that the two of you together are safe, accepting that you can be vulnerable with that person, accept that you can expand your love, you can expand your feelings, accept that you can heal, but most of all, the safeness is the feeling that with this person, I'm safe. I don't have to be afraid of anything because this person is going to be right by my side no matter what. This person is going to help me. This person is going to respect me. This person is going to guide me. So it's all about growth and expansion, because when you're healing the trauma, you're growing emotionally. You're finally getting released of the negativity that has been in you for so many years. You are also going to start feeling like you want to help other people and you want to help the planet itself. And you're going to start feeling that as you heal yourself. So when the healing process begins, it's like you want to help people and you want to make them feel what you're feeling, because all of a sudden you're feeling good about yourself. You're not with the negativity on top of you anymore. And so you want to explore more and you want to do that for others. So it's going to help to rise the vibration. So instead of, resonating here, you're going to start resonating here, which means the higher you resonate your love, the more global it becomes. And then finally, we go to the final stage of twin flames. And the final stage has to do about the life purpose of twin flames, because twin flames don't come together by accident. Twin flames were meant to be together. Twin flames were meant to do the work. And what I mean about doing the work and the mission and the life purpose is, for some of you, maybe you are going to become healers for other people. For instance, maybe you want to become a therapist. Maybe you want to become a clinical psychologist. Maybe you want to be a motivational speaker. Maybe you want to do something like magnified healing, Reiki, access bars, whatever, pranic healing, and you want to heal others and help others heal. Or you are going to feel inside of you the need to actually spread the love that you're feeling. And you're going to have this need to show people that they're loved and show people that life doesn't need to be so negative. So twin flames are pretty much, they're together because they have a mission. And the mission is to make other people heal, to spread the word of love, to raise the vibration so that the planet can ascend to the 5th dimension, because that's what twin flames are here to do. And they're going to do that in a lot of different ways. So it can be through healing, it can be through motivational speaking, it can be through videos on YouTube. There are a lot of twin flames doing that as well. Or it can actually be just because you are going to start spreading the love. So pretty much on phase 7, you're going to realize that love is everything. You're going to realize that love is the most beautiful feeling in the world. And you're going to want to spread the love. Even if you're not going to heal others, you're going to want to spread that love. And that's the most important part of phase number 7. That's when the two of you are going to start spreading your love, raising your vibration, and helping the collective consciousness of the planet to also raise their vibration. So twin flames are very, very important because they're here with a mission. And their mission is to spread the love, to raise the vibration, to help the planet go from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. That's what twin flames are here to do. And that's what they're going to do on the 7th phase, because all of a sudden you have this growth, you have this safety, and you have this willing either to help or to heal others. And so this is pretty much what happens on the 7 phases of twin flames. This was all the information that I had for you today. This is what I wanted to say about twin flames. If you have any question, you can leave it down in the comments so that I can read. If you want me to continue to talk about twin flames, tell me what would you like to hear me talk about next, because otherwise I'm not going to do the next video about twin flames. I'm probably going to do it about the spiritual awakening. So changing a little bit what I'm talking about on the channel. Anyways, I received a message asking if I would do readings on Facebook, and the answer is yes. I can do readings on Facebook, I can do readings on WhatsApp, I can do readings by email. So if you're interested, you can send an email to thepowerofthecosmos altogether @gmail.com, or you can go to the Facebook page of The Power of the Cosmos. I also have an Instagram called The Power of the Cosmos. So if you're interested in a reading, you can ask for it either on Facebook or Instagram or through email. So now the only thing that I have to say to you is I hope that you have a wonderful week, that everything goes well with all of you. Namaste, and thank you so much for hearing me out.